So what have I learned from the drafts that we've done recently? Well, if you listen to this morning's podcast, I learned what an idiom is. So that's pretty cool. But also, I'll tell you this, man, I'm really falling in love with the rookie class, especially at running back. You know, look, going into last year, we heard, well, not a great running back class, but great wide receiver class. And that's exactly how it played out. Keep in mind, this is not supposed to be a great wide receiver class. So I don't think you're going to get great late round wide receivers this year, but I do see the appeal in Tetaroa McMillan in round 5. I think we might be going a little bit too crazy on Emeka Ibuka because it's not like Chris Godwin's going to be out for the year. But I think Matthew Golden's really good value right now. It's really the rookie running backs, though. I'm gaga over this rookie running back class, and I want to leave my draft with at least 2 of them, honestly, and at least one of the top 5. And if I had Omarion Hampton in round 3 and RJ Harvey in round 5, and those are my 2 starting running backs, I could deal with that. I'm just going to keep going here, guys, so we can save time for some Ask FFT questions here. I know you guys like the rookies, too. But this I'll get your feedback on. My tight end strategy is changing a little bit. And this was from doing the FFT Open Draft, which is 12 teams, PPR, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a tight end. I usually skip the group of 4 of Njoku, Kelsey, Laporta, Hawkinson, not necessarily in that order. But what I did in this draft was, I think they were all available. Maybe 3 of those 4 were available in the 6th round. And I said, no, I'm going to put them in my queue, though. And if any of those guys make it to the 8th round in a 2-receiver league, I will take them. And usually I was kind of out on them. Dave, you took Tyler Warren ahead of Hawkinson earlier this morning.
I've done it in every single draft I've been in.
I think Hawkinson might be a little bit disrespected in a full PPR league. So I am opening up to those guys if I can get them in round 8. So what I would do is I would put them in your queue, and if one of them, those 4, Kelsey, Laporta, Njoku, Hawkinson, lasts to round 8, bam, that's when I would go for it.
You tiered them, which is great.
Yeah, but instead of just being, stubborn about it and saying, I'm out on this group, I think there's a right time.
You got them at great value. You got a guy at great value.
And that's another point to make, is that you should never be flat out on anybody. When there's a good value that shows up in your draft, you're going to take it. We're not big fans of Breece Hall, for example, but if he's there with the first pick in round 6, I think we'd all take him.
The Cowboys backfield, I think, is presenting a great opportunity. You don't have to reach to get Javonte Williams or Jaden Blue. I do believe those are the only 2 Cowboys running backs you should take. And I think Rico Dowdle, it's not like he's a great player, but he ended up being really important for fantasy managers down the stretch. So hopefully one of those guys can get that role, but I'm not opposed to having both of them. I prefer Javonte Williams, but not a bad idea to take one of them, and starting in around pick 100, maybe more like round 10 would be better. And 2 guys that I love to draft late, one harder to draft late. It's Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is rising. I'd like to get some Keon Coleman. I'll pivot to Khalil Shakir, though, if he starts to drop to like round 10 or 11. And Christian Kirk, I really like. If we have time, and that's in full PPR, if we have time, let's throw up some Ask FFT here, see if we can finish on that. There we go. 14 is our only one, guys. 14-team half PPR, keep 2. Jefferson, Lamb, Barkley. Who are you keeping?
The receivers.
Yep.
The receivers, it is. Well, good luck to everybody who is drafting this weekend. And thank you so much for being a part of our show with your questions and your comments and all of that. For Dave Richard and Jamey Eisenberg, I'm Adam Aizer. I want to say thank you for watching and listening to Fantasy Football Today. If you enjoyed the show, please check out our podcast, Fantasy Football Today, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We also have great written content on our website: sleepers, breakouts, busts, tiers, mock drafts, all at cbssports.com/fantasy/football. See you later. Have a great weekend.